Morning. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Putnam County Board of County Commissioners meeting for September 27th, 2022. I want to welcome everybody this morning. We'll begin the meeting by asking Bishop J. Tilton to come forward to deliver our invocation. And then after that, we are honored to have the Putnam County Sheriff's Explorer Honor Guard that will present our colors, and Commissioner Adams-Ack will lead us in the pledge. So Bishop Tilton, if you'll come forward, and please stand if you're able.
Thank you. Our Father in heaven, Father, how thankful we are to gather here today to discuss the dealings of the county of Palatka, Father. Father, we're thankful for technology today that allows us to know what's going on, but also to know a storm that's coming. And Father, as we prepare for that storm that's coming, we would ask that you please bless us with ears to hear and open hearts to rely upon one another and to prepare in the way that we know fit to help get the information out that we need to get out. And in all things, Father, we ask, as we don't want this storm to hurt nobody, that you keep us safe and you keep us watched over at this time, and that the preparations that are made, that they will be effective, that we will be able to help those in need and watch over those and help bring comfort and peace in this storm that's coming. Now, Father, for this meeting today, we ask you please just bless us with ears to hear, the ability to communicate, and to move forward for what's best for the people of Putnam County. We love thee, Father. We're so very thankful for these opportunities that we have to serve, and we just say and ask for these things in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Bishop Tilton, Commissioner Adams-Ack, and a special thank you to the Sheriff's Explorers group today. It's very special to have our youth here, and especially representing the colors of our country. So thank you so much. Commissioners, we'll move down to the first item of business, which is approval of the minutes as presented.
Mr. Chairman, I move approval of the minutes stated in our agenda.
We've got a proper motion and a proper second. All in favor indicate saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay, before I go down to presentations, we do have a 2 o'clock workshop where one of the agenda items is the 2022 and 2023 dirt to pave list. If any individuals are here for that meeting, it is at 2 o'clock this afternoon. We will have miscellaneous comment at the end of this meeting where you can make comment on that. But it's not an agenda item here. It's the 2 o'clock workshop. We'll be back at this building at 2 o'clock this afternoon. So we'll move down to presentations. And, okay.
For the people that are here from the Paradise Point area, the Fisherman's Rest Paradise Point area, that they are on the pave list for 22. Is not going to change this afternoon, if that's what you're here concerned about. I also talked to Steve this morning and Sue. So It's not gonna change. This is just the final discussion on the 22 list, and I have no intention whatsoever of trying to change that list. And so everything from Paradise Point to Fisherman's Rest, Creekside, every one of those roads, every one of them's on the 22 list that will soon be bid out shortly. I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman.
That's fine.
For this, I just didn't want them to have to wait around for hours just for this
Yes,
small
he said that.
conversation. They will be on, they are on and will stay on the 22 pave list today. And which means that about this time next year, they should be being paved.
Yes, sir, Creekside is on there.
Creekside, yes, sir. Everything to the end of the right from Fisherman's on down is gonna be is on the pave list. Sorry, Mr. Chairman, I just didn't want to sit around for hours, not a problem.
Okay. Okay, thank you. We'll rearrange the agenda just a little bit. We're going to move item B up first, which would be and I'll ask Colonel Joe Wells and Mr. Jack Sears and some of the Boy Scouts and whoever wants to come up. We're going to honor with a proclamation the many years of service of Mr. Jack Sears with the Boy Scouts of America. So I will go to the podium. I've asked Commissioner Harvey to read the proclamation.
Mr. Chairman, it's my honor and privilege to read this proclamation, number 2022-097, honoring the retirement of a fine man, Jack Sears. Whereas Mr. Sears began his career with the Boy Scouts on May 15, 1985, as district executive in the Central Florida Council, Orlando. From there, his scouting career included senior district executive, finance director, field director, and director of field service in that council, as well as scout executive / CEO for 3 scout councils. And whereas scouting is a premier youth organization in the United States focusing on building tomorrow's leader through adventure, service to others, and character development. And whereas through exploring programs, hundreds of youth in North Florida are exposed public service careers in their community, inspiring many to go on to serve their communities as adults. And whereas Jack Sears' steadfast commitment to scouting movement has ensured that every scout in Putnam County and throughout North Florida pledged to always do their duty to God and country and to help other people at all times. And whereas Jack Sears' leadership, over 6,000 youth and thousands of adult volunteers benefit from scouting programs in North Florida, with hundreds of these being in Putnam County. Whereas with Jack Sears leading the North Florida Council, significant capital improvements have been completed to various facilities. The recent improvements program has transformed Camp Shands in Putnam County into a premier destination for scouts all over the world. And whereas Jack Sears' unwavering commitment to the youth of Putnam County in North Florida, the North Florida Council of Boy Scouts has successfully navigated many challenges and changes in the past few years, including the COVID-19 pandemic, the welcoming of girls into more scouting programs, and ensuring successful policies are implemented to make scouting a more inclusive organization. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Putnam County Board of County Commissioners that genuine and sincere gratitude is hereby expressed for the professional, loyal, and selfless efforts of Jack Sears during his years of service. Mr. Chairman, I move this proclamation forward.
Second.
Got a proper motion, a proper second to move this proclamation forward. Any further discussion? Okay, seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. It is, before I ask you to come say a few words, and hopefully Colonel Wells will too, it's truly an honor to be able to give this to you for your dedicated service for the youth of our area and the surrounding areas. So, thank you.
Commissioner Harvey and fellow commissioners and citizens of this great county. You don't join scouting for the recognition, you do it for the public service. And so I'm a little lost at words as what to say other than thank you. I will offer this. As I enter into retirement, one of the highest pinnacles of my legacy that I will call is the transformation of the Baden-Powell Scout Reservation at Camp Shands, which dovetails perfectly into this county commitment to outdoor activity. And we hope that as good scouts, we're leaving the campsite better that we found it, and the citizens of Putnam County, North Florida, and the Southeast who are enjoying this facility will continue to do so. I'll leave you as I leave every meeting. Somewhere out there, there's a young person that's going to take your place in this world. That is not a choice. That is a fact. Organizations like Scouting are working on our replacements. Thank you for this recognition.
Joe, do you want to say a few things? I want to put you on the spot, but everybody understands Joe's commitment to scouting program for years and years in Putnam County. So if you just say a few words.
Yeah, sure. I appreciate it, Mr. Chairman and Mr. Harvey, for coming up with this idea today. You know, as someone who grew up in scouting and as an Eagle Scout, and also chose my career through a law enforcement explorer post way back when, and now have the opportunity to volunteer as a Scoutmaster here in Putnam County, and also the Eagle Scout Advancement Chair for Putnam County. So, you know, I've known nothing other than working with Jack Sears for all my years as a volunteer here in Putnam County, and he will certainly be missed, and his shoes will likely not be filled to the dedication and the passion and the commitment that he's always had to the program. So on behalf of all of us who grew up in the program and who remain in the program and who volunteer to work with our youth in Putnam County, we can never say thank you enough to all that Jack has done for us. And, you know, as you see evidence behind me, as I'm joined by members of our Explorer Post from the Sheriff's Office, two of our advisors, Deputy Felbinger, Deputy Brooker, and then, you know, behind me, Benjamin Modal, who is one of the scouts in my troop, working very closely and soon to be Eagle Scout, and his dad and our committee chair, Mark, and, you know, there's just a whole lot of people that benefit from scouting here in Putnam County. And a lot of that is due to Jack's efforts. And so we certainly appreciate and will miss him and wish him the best in his future. Mark, anybody else? Okay.
Mr. Chairman, may I make a few comments? I first met Mr. Sears right when I got here, if you remember, and I was new to the board, and issue came up out in Baden-Powell area, and scouting was expanding out there, and some of the neighbors were concerned, to say the least. And I never forget the demeanor that Mr. Sears had in this room right here about, don't worry, gentlemen, I will make this happen, and I will make everything right. And I'll never forget that, because he met with the citizens out there, compromise was made, and we went forward, never to hear this again. And it's so unusual for someone like you, Mr. Sears, or anybody that stands before us and says, I will straighten this out. I will get this cleaned up. You don't have to worry about it. It's on me. And I'll never forget what you did there. And you were a man of honor. You were a man of your word, and you did exactly what you said you were going to do. Now, I want to give my personal testimony of scouts. I was a Boy Scout years and years ago, and I'll never forget the 50-mile raft race down the Swanee River. What an adventure. But I thought it was just an adventure. But it was building life skills. And it was bringing that next person up the line, that I would use those teamwork efforts that we lived in a 5-gallon bucket. Now, some of you might think, how in the world do you try to live in a 5-gallon bucket for a week on a river? It's not easy. And it was like the monsoon season of rain that year. It felt like that at 13 years old, but it rained almost every day, constantly sometimes. And all you had was these guys who had to live under this little tarp and stay dry. And one of the best experiences I'll never forget it. And also doing the mile swim in the Swanee River. If you think that's easy, swim against the current in the Swanee River during the monsoon rain season. We all had to work together, and that was the point that I'm making, is Boy Scouts prepared me. I didn't know I'd be in this position. I didn't know what my life was going to look like. I worked next door at Pantry Pride bagging groceries, but I knew there was going to be something better for me than what I was doing if I applied myself. And I put those principles of scouting to work, and I applied myself, and I still use those principles today. But Mr. Sears, thank you very much for all your leadership and all the hard work you've done. Mr. Chairman, thank you, sir.
That many people.
Mr. Chairman, do you want us to stay up here or stay up?
I got it. Thank you.
We're not, that's right. Proclamation. Okay, we'll move on to item A. And if everybody has been watching the news, we do have a hurricane coming our way, so all of our firefighter and EMS, they're preparing Putnam County for this storm. So we will postpone the reading of the Fire Prevention Week, and we will do that. Also, we'll be honoring Clue Wright at our next regular scheduled meeting in October. So we'll move down to item D, Ms. Sarah Caron, Director of Human Resources. So we have Employee Recognition, Ashley McCormick with IT, Employee of the Month for August 2022. So Sarah, if you'll please come down with Ms. Ashley.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
So Ashley was nominated as Employee of the Month because she has a great rapport with the staff inside and outside of the IT department. She never hesitates to expand her learning of her own initiative and then shares what she's learned with other IT staff on the help desk. She also is always looking for creative ways to do things more efficiently and more cost effectively for the county. And also her outstanding performance assists her managers in allowing them to do their job more efficiently as well. So congratulations, Ashley. You're Employee of the Month for September. Thank you.
James, sorry to exclude you, but anyway.
That's all
Our
right.
new
That's all
IT
right.
director, Ms. James Ritchie, so.
Only thing I would like to say is she is a phenomenal employee. She has learned a lot from her background. She was in like kind of the medical background and come to IT, and she loves it, and you can tell it. She loves her job. Comes to the office every day with a smile and just wanting to help people. Has a heart to help people, and that's important, especially working on a service desk like we've got, contacting so many people every single day, and she does a phenomenal job, and I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. She's just a great employee, and I look forward to many, many years working with her. I do. So thank you again, Ashley.
Way to go, Ashley.
Hard to
Get on your knees.
Larry Harvey don't want to see over you.
No, I can't see it. I'm shrinking.
Maybe, yeah.
Ashley.
Okay, I'll now ask the Honorable Clerk of Court, Matt Reynolds, to come forward with 2 recognitions this morning.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioners, good morning. Also, I think everybody is here, Mr. Chairman, so I think we can go ahead and do all of them on the agenda and not have to move any of them to later on. But we'll go ahead and start with item A, which I believe is Employee of the Quarter. If Mrs. Donna Wheeler will come up. I don't have any of the nomination forms in front of me from her staff that nominated her for Employee of the Quarter, but I can say that she received multiple nominations, and all of them basically alluded to just how kind, how helpful, hardworking, just what an amazing employee Donna is. And so that's why, as you can see, she brought her team with her and her family, which is awesome. So we're very, very proud to say that Donna is the Employee of the Quarter. So thank you, Donna.
Bring everybody you want with you.
Anybody you want. I saw you make the face, though.
Yeah, because I didn't know.
Yeah. It's included with the, yeah.
And this is their education today.
Okay. I get it.
Yeah.
If they need a note?
They get to see that.
Okay. I think the note's going to be on YouTube.
I'm sure we're following you. I can't sure we're following you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, the next thing we have is a certificate of appreciation for Mrs. Cora Hagins. Cora, if you will come up. And this is for 5 years of service. She's been with the clerk's office now. And I will say something a little funny about Shakora. Every time I walk in the office where Shakora's at, if I don't specifically say hello to Shakora, she makes it a point to say, "Hey, Matt," you know. So we really enjoy having Shakora around, and we hope that there's many, many more years to come. So thank you, Shakora.
Have your family come up.
Come on up. Y'all want to come? That's what we're all about. So, I love your hair, by the way. You need a little orange. You need a little blue. Yeah, a little blue. Just a little.
No, she must be FSU.
No, she's not.
Good year to be in that thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Starting out to be.
Yeah. Hey, Candace on the camera.
Pretty country numbers. We're gonna have a winning season either way.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, a few more minutes, we might have.
I don't definitely need to gloat on it because it don't happen very often.
Unfortunately, on the next one, Mr. Chris Garrett could not be here, so we will be sure to give his plaque to him as well. He actually reached 10 years of service, so again, very thankful to have Chris on board. He is the relevant expert when it comes to the Department of Revenue and the Child Support Administration that we do. So next, I would like to, this is going to be kind of a new award, and it's based upon something, I'm trying to build a helpful, positive culture, environment within the clerk's office so that employees and staff, they go out of their way to try to help the constituents of Putnam County. So I kind of borrowed an idea that I have seen other clerks doing, and a lot of other entities have done it, and it's challenge coins. And on one side, it's our logo. On the other side, it has here to help with things like helpful, efficient, positive, and leaders. So I want to take a moment to recognize several staff members today that one of the judges, and I don't believe Judge Janess to be here this morning, but he reached out to us and wanted to express just how thankful he was that several of our staff members were extremely helpful to him in the case that they were working on. So if y'all will please come up, Cassidy and Caitlin. All right. Who else? Yeah, sorry. They were all very extremely helpful to Judge Janess, so I wanted to be sure to give each one of them, they'll be the first ones to receive one of the challenge coins for being as helpful as they were. So we'll be giving out more of these because I keep getting more emails about how helpful everybody's being, so I want to be sure that we recognize that. So thank you, Missy, Cassidy. Okay. Thank y'all. I'll mix it up this time.
There you go.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Mr. Suggs, I don't think you got Saul. I don't think they saw you. Yeah, I don't.
Last one. And this one is one that I don't enjoy giving, but it's something that we definitely need to do, as this will be the last meeting that Mrs. Susan Frank will be with us as finance director. Again, she's still staying in the county family, which is a good thing, but she is leaving the clerk's office as finance director, and I wanted to be sure to thank her for, Susan, has it been almost 10 years now you've been with the clerk's office? So that's amazing, and I truly appreciate everything that you have done for Putnam County, not only as finance director, but the other things that you participate in the county. You are an asset to our community, and when I heard that you were leaving, my first worry was that, you know, you would be leaving the county or something like that. So it was good to hear that you weren't going very far, and that you'll be hanging around here. So that's good. Come on down, and I'll give you this plaque.
You do have your speech ready for later in the meeting, don't you?
It has to be more than thank you.
You know me too well.
It can't be just thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, it can be.
Yep. All in? Good deal. Congratulations, Bill.
And thank you for for all the recognitions, and Sarah and James. It's always good to recognize employees, whether it's a BOCC side or constitutional officer. 'Cause we have many great individuals working for Putnam County. We're very, very blessed. So we'll move down to the next item. We're going to skip the countywide update. We're going to do that next meeting in October. So we'll move down to item 4, public comment on agenda items. This portion of the agenda is designed to allow citizens an opportunity to bring matters to the attention of the board. It's not reasonable to expect that the board will engage in debate or deliberation on matters on which the board has received no prior information. Please limit your comment to 3 minutes. We prefer you fill out a blue card, which is at the entrance and the exit of the building, and give them to our clerk to the left, to y'all's right. Any individuals wishing to make public comment on agenda items. Okay, seeing none, we'll move down to the consent agenda. And Commissioners, any items you wish to pull? I'll start with Commissioner Rawls,
I have none.
Commissioner Harvey,
I have none, sir.
Commissioner Turner,
I'd like to pull item F, sir.
and Commissioner Adamsack. Okay, and I have none.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we approve items A, B, C, D, E, G, H, I, J, and K of the consent agenda.
We've got a proper motion to approve the consent agenda without item F, and we've got a proper second. Any further discussion? Okay, seeing none, all in favor, saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay, item F, Commissioner Turner.
Oh, yes, just right quick, and we may need to discuss what I need to discuss at the next meeting, because it's gonna definitely involve Director Grimes and people like that, and this is probably not the time to do it, and I know we've got to approve this today, and this isn't what I want to discuss. I would like it to be placed on a workshop in the not-too-distant future, that we discuss how we could do a little better collecting our ambulance fees than $1.5 million. I'd like to discuss, do we need to start having a third-party collection agency like everybody else in the world does? There's other things that we can do that I think we're just not doing at this time. So I don't think it's going to affect anything that I'm going to motion to approve right here in a minute, but I do want to request that we have a workshop on this, because I think we can do a little better than $1.5 million. With that, I move that we approve this item, sir.
Second.
We've got a proper motion to move item F forward on a proper second, and I'll add in comments. I have had the conversations that you're talking about with staff to maybe hire a third-party collection agency to see if we can just attempt to bring in some of these monies. So with that said, all in favor, saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay. Matt, Clerk of Court.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have nothing else. We took care of everything just a couple minutes ago. Thank you.
Okay. Now, I just want to say, Susan, it's been a pleasure, working with you from a distance, but your professionalism is definitely appreciated, and I know you'll take that over to the property appraiser side, and so really wish you well there. So would you like to, I'm not going to put you on the spot, would you like to say any comments?
I would just say thank you. This has been a great opportunity for me. I've learned a lot. I think the thing I enjoy the most is being a part of something, being a part of the county and seeing the projects. I've always really enjoyed that, and I'm really, really glad to still be a part of the county, because I've really enjoyed it.
Okay, all right, thank you very much. Before we go down to appointments, I want to take about a 2-minute and 12-second recess. Okay, I'll go ahead and reconvene the meeting, and sorry for that. But anyway, we'll move down to appointments, and I'll start with Commissioner Adamsack. Any appointments?
I have none.
Commissioner Turner?
I have
Commissioner Rawls?
none. I have to replace, Kyle Gaylord is on the Fair Committee. He's moving out of town, so I'll be replacing with Scott Tilton. And I've already
Is that
already spoken to Scott and told him to get his paperwork turned in.
okay, that's a district appointment?
Yeah,
All right, any others?
bless you.
Okay, Commissioner Harvey?
I have none, sir.
Okay, I have one that I'd like to go ahead and renominate with, it's an at-large position. It's tourist development. It's Veda DeCarla with accommodations. So I'd like to make that recommendation. Can I do that, or one of y'all have to do it?
No, you can do it.
Okay, so I'll make that recommendation. Any further discussion? All in favor, and by
Aye.
saying aye? Aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay, and that's all I have. Okay, so we'll move down to public comment on miscellaneous items. Any individual wishing to make public comment on miscellaneous items? Okay, seeing none, we'll move down to comments. County Attorney, Rich Commando.
Nothing today, Mr. Chair, thank you.
Okay, all right. Before I call on the county administrator, I just want to say that as this storm approaches, as chairman, I was had the privilege to be at the EOC last Sunday for an update, and then we came here and did a special called meeting for a local emergency proclamation, and then back at the EOC yesterday, and just to see how everything starts to come together with the leadership of J.R. Grimes and Chief Hutchinson and Stephen Turnipseed and all the staff out there, and also working with the Sheriff's Department, the local Police Department in Palatka, the school system. Representative Payne was there today. All the municipalities had representatives and either there or on Zoom meetings to just start putting together everything that needs to be done to keep our citizens safe, from opening up shelters to working on public works, getting prepared to stage equipment. Sanitation is involved also, to just get prepared for downed trees and flooding and things like that. It's just amazing how this comes together. We're prepared for the worst and we're hoping for the best. But I just want to commend everybody that has been involved so far, what they have done in preparation, what they will do through the course of the storm, and then through the end of this storm and getting everybody back to a normal life in Putnam County. So I'm going to call on Administrator Suggs for any comments, and possibly Julianne after that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and you're absolutely correct. We have an absolutely wonderful, outstanding team of committed public servants here in Putnam County. We couldn't ask for a better group of folks to represent us and to make sure that we do the things that we need to have done to protect not only our assets, but our citizens, which is our most important asset of Putnam County. So, they're your team. You've allowed us to put that team together, and I think they're representing you well. As far as the storm and some of the things that we're dealing with right now, our latest update this morning at 8 o'clock from the National Weather Service did not give us any better news. So we're looking at tropical storm watch now. As far as Putnam County is concerned, we've been moved into that. We're looking at a nor'easter coming through as early as Wednesday ahead of the storm. We'll be getting tropical force winds with hurricane gust as well, and significant flooding, anywhere from 3 to 5 inches, and they're looking to increase that if the storm stays on the current path that it is, with storm surges 3 to 5 feet as well. So, with significant rain of about 10 to 15 inches as well. And so, we're doing everything we can. They got it tracking right up 301 right now, which is not good for us. It puts us on the worst side of the storm. So we can certainly see some significant wind and rain from this. No one likes to compare it, as I said on our weather call yesterday, about comparing storms, but this has the makings of another Irma as far as rain and wind event for Putnam County. So we're just doing all we can. As of 6 o'clock tonight, we'll talk about we're going to step up the EOC for activation. We've already stepped up our call center. We'll open up all shelters today. The school system, Dr. Sorensen and his team met with us for the last couple of days. They put out a press release yesterday that we'll be closing schools Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And give us time to get in there and do what we need. And as far as setting up shelters, we're looking right now to make sure that we have fueling throughout the county. So that was an issue this morning that I believe our team got on quickly. Ms. Young, Mr. Grimes, and Mr. Holmes from the city was very helpful in that as well. We're ready for this as far as we can be prepared. So, we're getting sandbags out to all our centers to make sure everybody is able to get taken care of. Public Works on notice, Public Safety's on notice. Our team that goes out and does all of our visual inspections are ready to go. They'll be meeting here after the storm. Mr. Parker's office is involved with that, as well as your building department, our damage assessment team. The essential services functions, emergency services functions will be set up tonight at 6 p.m. So we'll be going around the clock, getting ready as they prepare for the storm to come in sometime Wednesday afternoon, early evening. So thank you, Mr. Chair, and we just hope that everyone will follow all of our media outlets, our website, our Facebook, our Twitter account, because we'll be updating information routinely throughout this event. We've notified all those folks in the low-lying areas. We're making all the proper calls. EMS is getting everybody ready to transport to special needs shelters if they need that. So please, we'll be updating as much information as we can on a routine basis to all of our social media outlets. So please follow that. For our citizens, the number for the call-in is 386-329-1904. As I said earlier, that will be activated and is activated and will be for 24 hours a day. So, Mr. Chairman, that's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Administrator Suggs. And it is, I tell you what, just to be out there to see the leadership of these groups, especially Administrator Suggs, we are very blessed to have all the different players in Putnam County with us preparing for this. Ms. Julianne, would you like to make any comments? Okay. Okay, all right, thank you. We'll move down to Commissioner comments. I'll start with Commissioner Rawls.
I just want to reiterate some of the things I said Sunday. Folks that shouldn't really sit back and take this lightly, especially when it comes to power outages. If they have access to generators, they need to be thinking about getting connection points and connecting them safely. I've had several people reach out to me asking me how to connect a generator to a house, and there are safe ways to do it and unsafe ways to do it, and I think we've probably seen a lot of it in the past, and we just got to remember that the people that are going to be replacing the power lines, if they're damaged, could be impacted if somebody backfeeds the house improperly. So make sure you turn off your outside disconnect if you're going to do backfeed a panel, and otherwise there's going to be a run on the stores. It's already started. Supplies, materials are getting hard to come by, but I think we need to take this in seriously. I think there's going to be a lot of low-level flooding, and as the water gets pushed into the St. Johns River, there's really nowhere for it to go but on the land. So for those folks in low-lying areas, I would seriously consider about batting down the hatches and locating to an area where you might be able to stay dry. Otherwise, I just wish everybody well.
Thank you, Commissioner Rawls. Commissioner Harvey?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do want to thank Susan for your time here and for putting up with me when I first got here. Remember all the questions I had that I bombarded you almost weekly with, as I did everybody when I got here, but that's, you've helped me become a better commissioner with the answers you've given me, so thank you so much for that. I do want to reiterate something that Commissioner Rawls said that we talked about the other day, and then go, I have been at the EOC when the team is activated. And what a well-oiled machine. And that room is full of people really looking out for the best interests of Putnam County and every single citizen. I said that on the radio this morning, that, there's not a call that doesn't come in that one citizen's had that it's not dealt with. And so even if you have a question, please call. They'll be glad to help you. I do want to say, in my area, let's don't let Facebook rule the world. It's such a nice platform, but my Lord, it gets ugly some days. And truly, the West Putnam area is the highest spot in Putnam County. Most people don't realize that. And we have a list of roads and an MSBU out there that see elevations that go 40 feet in 3 city blocks. Well, the developers developed every lot. The water's trying to get to the lowest point, and we're going to see roads that are going to be blown out. We've seen them here 3 weeks ago just with a few afternoon rainstorms that dumped a lot of rain. This is going to be significant. So please prepare yourself. I mean, I can't stress that enough. If you know you're going to be stuck in the place you're going to be at, leave that area, go to a shelter, make other arrangements with that, because it's going to be hard to clean up muddy dirt roads after this is over with. And it's going to take some time from our contractor to do that. So please avail yourself to the abilities that the county has. Watch your social media. Don't let us know on social media. Call the number. We can get that handled a lot faster that way. None of us sit here and cruise social media all day long because we don't have anything else to do. We have things to do. I use it as an inspiration point. I know some people don't, but that's their business and not mine. But please avail yourself to all the information. Prepare your family. Prepare yourself for what's fixing to happen. And a lot of it's going to be rain. One good thing we do have in West Putnam is some of the lakes are down, so they can handle some of the rain coming into them. But again, what I just said earlier, the developers sold every lot around the lake. So when you see that coming, you know where the water is going to go to. And you've seen it before, you'll see it again, and it's going to come that way. So just want to let you know to prepare yourself, and thank you, Mr. Chairman, for that.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Harvey. Commissioner Adamsack?
Wow, mine's a heaven echo today. Just kind of reiterate the same things. The only thing I'll add is that, continue to pray for everyone that's in the low-lying areas. Obviously, there was people last week before this even was coming that were talking about their docks being underwater and things like that are on waterfront properties and things like that. I guess the best thing I could say is do what makes you the most comfortable. If you're in a situation where you don't know that, your trailer or your home is going to be good, go to one of the shelters. There's a reason we open them. We open them for people's safety. So utilize those resources when you can. The most important thing in all of this is lives. I mean, everything can be replaced. I know it's hard for people to swallow that, but even if you lost your house or something, your life is more important. So just make sure you prioritize your safety. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Adamsack. Commissioner Turner?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. First thing, because I can't talk to you or any of the other commissioners except in an official meeting concerning this information. I just want you to know that if you get overly tired or if you get to where you need a break or you need to go home and tend to some business for a few hours or whatever you need to do, if you'll let me know, I think there's not any problem whatsoever for me to come in and replace you for a few hours and let you go get some rest or tend to home or do whatever. Right. So I'm making that offer, and if you decide you need it, knowing you won't take it. But I'm not kidding. If you need me, I'm there for you.
Thank you.
Even if it's for a few hours somewhere. The other thing is, I know during COVID that during that emergency situation, but it was different in a way, but they authorized emergency meetings by Zoom. Has that been authorized during this emergency?
No.
Okay, so that's good enough. So also, if you need, for some reason, you need to call an emergency situation, let me know. I'll show up and I understand that we can, if it's an emergency meeting, that all we have to do is give the best notice available at that time, is what I've been told. So if you need me to show up for some reason and you need to have a meeting, just let me know. I'm there for you. I would like to request that because I'm not going to be a DOC unless I'm requested to be there, I would like to have updates from Danielle on each time that she gets an update with the PowerPoint presentation. She's been sending me the minutes of basically what they said or whatever, but without any visuals. I did email her back and ask her to send it to me after one of the presentations, so I know it's no big issue. And I understand she is busy right now, but I got a job to do too, and I need that information to be able to do that job and stay up to date. So if we could possibly, if she doesn't have time, maybe she could designate somebody else to make sure that that happens as quickly after each one of y'all's updates that you get, that I could get a copy of what's going on with the slides. And last but not least, I want to join everybody and say, be prepared. Don't be scared. Be prepared. If you flooded before, be prepared to be flooded again. Hopefully it won't be. But if you live in a trailer in an area that's flood prone and it goes to blowing 40 miles an hour, we can't come get you. That's all there is to it. So don't think that you're going to ride this out and then it's going to get really nasty in a spot and the people are going to just come get you. We're not the Coast Guard. You're going to have to do the very best you can until conditions get at least somewhat safe for law enforcement, first responders to come get you again. So please evacuate to a shelter if you're in a bad area. If you live in a 1949 mobile home, get the hell out of it and go to a shelter. Go somewhere that's safe, because I'm just telling you, that's not safe. So please heed these warnings and remain safe. And that's all I have today, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, if I could say one more thing.
Yep.
People really need to remember their animals and start making provisions now.
For the animals.
Animals for food and just shelter for them as well, especially large animals.
Yeah, you're correct. With all that's been said, definitely prepare. The EOC, they did send out, it was, I guess it was some type of robocall and those type things. If you're in flood zone A and F, it's recommended that you evacuate. It's not mandatory. It's just a recommendation. So I think the simple thing is they did say, and they've said this 2 or 3 times, they don't like to compare storms because each storm is different. But this is going to be an Irma-like situation, especially with the water, with the flooding. So if you flooded in Irma, then you're probably going to flood with Ian. So with that said, Colonel Wells or Sheriff DeLoach, I don't want to put you on the spot. Would you like to make any comments at all? Okay. Ms. Dana from the chamber. Wayne was on the Zoom this morning. He did say you're going to do evaluation of fueling locations, I guess, and get that out to us. Isn't that what he said? Okay, because I know if you see people are already, preparing for that with the gas. I think one location in South Putnam is already out of gas, unfortunately. So, okay, we have a 2 o'clock workshop, and then we have a 5:05 public hearing on the budget. So if there's no further business to come before this board, I will recess this meeting until 5:05.